Disney has really let their presence be felt in Fortnite as of late, and nowhere is that more apparent than in the sheer number of collabs we've gotten just this year. Sure, we got some new Marvel and Star Wars skins, like we always do, but this time they gave us Hercules skins, some stuff for Toy Story, and then even Dr. Doofenshmirtz and Perry the Platypus from Phineas and Ferb. Now before we move on, can we just stop and admire how jacked Perry actually is here? I mean, that's impressive. He absolutely puts the Peter Griffin skin to shame. And while I do enjoy having all of these characters in this game along with the likes of Goku, the Power Rangers, and SpongeBob, when you combine it with the rumor that Disney is interested in buying Epic Games, it makes this wave of new collabs feel more like a soft coup. And while I hope that Epic never outright sells to Disney, we are going to be getting an exclusive Disney mode within Fortnite at some point this year, so expect more collabs to drop in the meantime. That being said, there are still plenty of collabs I would love to see from the mouse end up in this game, so why don't we go over a few of the ones that I would like to see in there the most. This will be my top 10 most wanted Disney collab list with any film or TV show that falls under the Disney umbrella. And I say we kick things off with the film that features my personal favorite of the Disney princesses, and the only one to come from Pixar, Merida from Brave. Now I know some people will object to that because they don't want to see Disney princesses using firearms, and to that I say, I don't care. They just put a new Batman skin in the game. He's the most anti-gun character ever, so if DC is okay with him using guns for a silly little game like this, then Disney can get over themselves too. Besides that, Merida's an excellent shot. She's like the top archer in that entire movie. So if you just bring her in during a season where they use some kind of bow and arrow weapon, it would be a perfect fit for her. As for the Merida skin, I would like to see her in her usual green dress, but the blue one that her mother makes her wear for the marriage ceremony still looks good on her too, as long as she gets to still have that little floof of hair that she kept pulling out. Her pickaxe could be her trusty bow, like the Pink Ranger uses, or you could have it be the sword she uses to tear the tapestry in the movie. And then you could use the bow as a back bling or something, but maybe you could use it for both. And then I would love for her to have an emote that recreates that moment in the marriage ceremony where she shoots 3 consecutive bullseyes. That would be amazing. Now, usually for a collab, I would like for them to include more than just one skin, but the main villain of this movie is just a big bear, and the other characters I just feel like I don't care to see in the game. So for Brave, we'll just go with Merida. But I do have one request here. If they do this collab, I would love to see them include her Mirrorverse design because that game got shut down anyway. I mean, look at it. It's amazing. Next up is going to be another case where a collab will have to be restricted to only one skin. But when I tell you which movie it's from, I think you'll understand. Wreck-It Ralph. Now, Ralph himself actually did appear in Fortnite at Risky Reels several years ago, but that was just more of a cameo appearance to promote Ralph Breaks the Internet. Unfortunately, Ralph's massive hands would make it hard to turn him into a skin you could use in the game, so I think it would be best to use Sergeant Calhoun in his place. She's got normal body proportions, which wouldn't be an issue like Ralph does, and let's be honest here, if you put this character in Fortnite, she wouldn't look out of place at all. And hey, she already likes to use guns, so no Disney princess problem here. For the skin, I imagine her basic hero's duty armor will be enough, maybe give her the option to take on and off her helmet. Though I do think it would be hilariously dark if you gave her a wedding dress alt that was taken straight from her backstory where the man she was about to marry was eaten by a giant bug. Oh, that would be so funny, but also just really wrong. But it could also be viewed as very romantic because if it were up to me, I would give her a sidekick in the form of the man she eventually did marry at the end of the film, Fix-It Felix Jr. I mean, Felix is already a short little guy. If you just give him an emote where he pulls out his hammer and goes, "I can fix it," then he'd be perfect sidekick material. And this could be the only case in the game where a skin and sidekick combo is a canonical married couple. I guess it does kind of suck that Ralph wouldn't be able to represent his own movie, but they had the lizard from Hoppers represent that movie, and that's just silly. For number 3, we've got another Disney princess that doesn't mind getting her hands dirty, and actually managed to take down almost an entire army by herself. I'm talking about Mulan. Martial arts, swords, explosives, whatever you need Mulan to do in a fight, she's down to do it. And this time, she wouldn't have to go it alone, because I would also include Shang in there as a skin as well. And maybe even Shan Yu too, because everybody likes to play as the villain every now and then. For the Mulan skin, I'd like her default style to be her casual wear from the movie, but I'd also like her to have an alternate style for her Ping disguise. I mean, she got to fight as both herself and Ping in Kingdom Hearts 2, so if they did it before, they can do it again. And I know that not everybody's a fan of the sidekicks, but I think when it's appropriate for the character, then they should do it. And here, I say, make a Mushu sidekick. He says a bunch of funny stuff in the movie, like imagine if his built-in emote was him doing the dishonor on you, dishonor on your cow thing. That'd be pretty amusing. For number 4, it's another film with a Disney princess in it. And while I would still include the princess herself as a skin, just because, it would be mostly focused on the other 2 skins in the set, which would have been perfect for the whole rivalries theme. For this, we're talking about Beauty and the Beast, and for this set, I would have a Belle skin, a Beast skin, and a Gaston skin. Now, Belle running around in this game with shotguns and rocket launchers is pretty funny, especially considering that the one thing that people hated her so much for in the original film is because she liked to read. And I say go all in with it. If you can somehow make that big yellow dress she was wearing in her dance with the Beast work in this game, then you've gotta put it in there. As for Beast and Gaston, they're no strangers to violence. The Beast is this humongous hulking creature of a man, and Gaston is a regular hunter who kills for fun. So, hey, they're right at home here. Just make sure you give the Beast his fancy duds too, because a Beast has gotta look his best when he's killing folks. Now we're up to number 5, and this is the last of the classic Disney princesses that we're going to discuss today, but I think this collab has the most potential out of all of them. Deep in the heart of Agrabah lies a treasure trove of content from this collab, because we're talking about Aladdin now. This time we've got a grand total of 4 skins, and no, I'm not trying to be clever when I say that, so stop laughing. First up would be Aladdin himself, with his default style being his, street clothes, and then his Prince Ali Ababwa outfit as an alt. Princess Jasmine would be there in her usual palace attire, but then she could also have that red outfit she was wearing when Jafar had taken over the entire country. For Jafar, I'd be okay if they only gave him his standard attire from most of the movie. He's not really in his Sultan suit for long enough to warrant putting it in the game, in my opinion, but that sorcerer's outfit that's just a slightly modified version of his standard one would work as an alt. It also changes the design of his Cobra staff slightly, so that would work well for a pickaxe for him. And for the final skin in this collab, I'd have to go with the Genie, because there's just so much you can do with him. He could be his own glider, you could come up with some wacky back blings and pickaxes, but I would really love to see a built-in emote where he does that dance where he splits himself in half as he's dancing. And there's plenty of room for some bonus stuff. The flying carpet would be a perfect glider, and a Boo would make for a pretty good sidekick. But I would also really like to have a magic lamp emote, where any character you want pulls out the magic lamp, rubs it, and Genie pops out and does like one of 3 different random things. Now, might this be a little confusing if Genie is already a skin? Maybe, but I think as long as the emote has him retain his Genie tail so that you never see his feet on the ground, that would be a good way to differentiate between the skin and the emote. I just really like the idea of having the lamp in the game and being able to use it, even if just as an emote, to call the Genie whenever you want. Now for number 6, we're going to take a break from Disney princesses and move to the Disney TV shows, where they've got a few characters there that I think would be perfect for this game. Now, we all know Fortnite loves a good spy season, so what better show to represent that in this game than Kim Possible? Now, the best part about a Kim Possible collab is the fact that the show is pretty old, which means that all of the original fans are now adults. Which means most of them probably won't care if they see Kim running around in a third-person shooter game. What skins would it be? Well, I'm looking at Kim Possible herself, her buddy Ron Stoppable, and then their arch enemies Draken and Shigo. Kim and Ron get their casual and mission outfits, and then Draken and Shigo pretty much just wear the same thing all the time, so you wouldn't have to worry about alts for them. You could also give Kim an emote where she pulls out her communicator that plays that little alert sound from the intro to the show, and she says, "What's the sitch?" And then maybe you could have Rufus the Naked Mole Rat be a part of the Ron-stoppable skin. I mean, they were pretty inseparable in the show, so it would make sense if he were included here too. Number 7 would make for a good collab to feature during Fortnitemares, and I say that because I had intended to make a video where I said that Danny Phantom would be a good Fortnitemares collab too, and then they dropped it during Season 1, which means I don't get to take credit for that. Gargoyles was a pretty unique show for Disney at the time, especially considering all the other shows that were airing around it. I mean, this show got away with showing some slight bloodshed, and they even got away with the use of the word hell. And while there are a good number of interesting characters in the show overall, I think I'd be okay with simplifying it down to just having Goliath and Demona represented in Fortnite. Two former lovers turned mortal enemies, it's awfully tragic, but at least in this game, they would be able to work together again. Now for these skins, I think they would have two different styles. One where their wings are out, like they're about to fly away, and then another where they clasp their wings together like a cape. And then of course their wings could be their gliders so that they can float down to the island under their own power. And then I would love for them to have built-in emotes where they turn to stone for a few seconds before bursting free and showing all that power off. That would look really cool. And that's all I got for this one. I mean, maybe you could put in some of the other gargoyles or even some of the human characters from the show, but I think Goliath and Demona would be enough for now. Now, what about modern Disney television? Is there a show from recent memory that would work well within the confines of Fortnite? I know there's definitely one that I'm sure we'll see end up in the game at some point eventually. Gravity Falls. Now I'm imagining them actually putting the Mystery Shack in the game, and I believe they do it. I got 3 skins for you here. Grunkle Stan, Seuss, and Wendy. Those are the main 3 adults from the show because you couldn't really do anything with Dipper and Mabel. Maybe they could be sidekicks, but I'm thinking they would probably want Bill Cipher to be the sidekick for this show because Bill's a pretty popular character himself. I mean, Bill even showed up in an episode of The Simpsons, and they're already in the game, so why not? Now maybe as a gag they could do skins for Rumble, McSkirmish, and Giffany, but I don't think those characters were important enough to make it into this game, so we'll just leave it with Sue, Stan, and Wendy. Now we're up to number 9, and unfortunately we're going back to the Disney princesses, but at least it's a good one. I actually think I'd enjoy a Tangled collab if we could get skins for Rapunzel and Flynn Rider. Though for Flynn, I don't know what else you could really do with him other than put him in Fortnite. I think he's got a good enough design and it would look good in the game, but that's about it. But I think you could get pretty creative with whatever you do with Rapunzel, at least in regards to maybe the glider or an emote. I mean, we already know what her pickaxe will be, her frying pan. And I think they should also include her little chameleon friend Pascal on her shoulder, just like the Wednesday Addams collab with Thing. Now here's something that would be really interesting. If they could make it to where her hair glows whenever she's healing, that would be really awesome. Or if you can't do that and make it actually functional, then just give her an emote that lets her hair glow. That way, some of her powers from the movie will be carried over into the game, even if it's just for a little taunt. But what about the villains of this film, Mother Gothel and the Stabbington brothers? I don't care. I don't think Mother Gothel would make for a good skin, but maybe I'm wrong on that. And the Stabbington brothers look kinda generic. There's no difference between them other than one wears an eye patch. If you were gonna put them in the game, I'd just make them one skin and have both brothers be alts. But in my opinion, I'd just leave them out of the game entirely. Flynn and Rapunzel are all you really need. And finally, we've arrived at number 10, and yep, you guessed it, it's another Disney princess film, and this time, there are 2 princesses in the film, and you hate me for saying that because you know what film I'm talking about, don't you? It's Frozen. Now look, I actually do like the original Frozen movie, haven't seen the second one yet, but I think that these characters in this movie would make for some pretty cool Fortnite skins. Anna is spunky and rambunctious enough that seeing her with a gun wouldn't be too shocking, and Elsa is a walking natural disaster already. Kristoff seems like the type of outdoorsman who's handled a gun or 2 in his time, and Hans has probably killed way more people than we'll ever know about. The one thing that makes me not want to put Hans in the game, though, is that I just don't care about him as a character. Spoiler alert, but his heel turn in the movie flat out sucked. Maybe it's just because I thought the story was going in a different direction with his relationship with Anna, but I just never bought into the whole idea that he was evil all along. I don't know, I thought it was bad. One of the worst Disney twist villains I've ever seen. Oh yeah, you can't forget about the Olaf sidekick, which, according to leakers, was actually planned for the previous Winterfest, but never materialized for some reason. Hey, there's Olaf merch everywhere, so if they ever actually do a Frozen Fortnite collab, Olaf is definitely gonna show up. And there you have it. Those are my top 10 most wanted Disney Fortnite collabs. But what do you guys think? Are there any collabs from my list that you would like to see added to the game one day? Or maybe you have your own ideas for some Disney Fortnite collabs. Let me know in the comments which ones you would like to see make it into the game that I didn't have on my list. Thanks for watching this video, I really appreciate it. If you want to support my channel, then be sure to hit that like button and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Now, all I can do is just hope that Disney doesn't outright buy Epic Games and turn Fortnite into the House of Mouse. Because on the one hand, that means no more third-party collabs. But on the other hand, Goofy skin.